told me I was fabulous. I was fabulous because I felt it inside of me. In fact, you came in, and I had just finished not too long, and I was sitting over there, and he was walking around. He walks up to me, and he gave me some compliments that honestly I can't remember at the moment. And then he walked away.
They were golden.
And I was like, wow, that's not how I thought that would feel. Because it was nice, and I liked it, but I didn't need it. For the first time in all the years that I can remember, I didn't need someone else to fill me up, to tell me how good I am, or to tell me what is right about me. Because when I stood up here, I felt anxious or nervous, and I was good, and I was fabulous, and I was happy and satisfied. So that when I finished, it wasn't perfect, but it was perfect for me. And I recognized that life was really scary and painful growing up because I didn't understand me. And so I was always outside of myself, trying to get away from that. And then that created this emptiness that I was trying to fill from other people who could never fill it because they didn't know what I wanted or how to give it to me. And now, instead of being outside of myself, I'm home. And now there's no emptiness to fill. I don't have a neediness chasing after everybody saying, love me, because I love me.
Good job.
I'm satisfied. I am full to the brim, whole and complete. And this is only the beginning.
I'll come back to you in a second. I just want to remind everybody that other than your graduation meeting tonight is your last meeting.
Yay! I'm just excited to hear that.
Really.
What a thought.
Do me a favor and come this way so that Dawn can see you on
Okay.
the camera. Thank you.
So if we go back a little bit to when we went to Pioneer Park and we did that project as a team, I think we first started feeling like a team, with our teams. And then at the awakening, it was more, whether we were assisting or participating. And then to put on Breakthrough Saturday was being more with our teams, which sometimes it flows and sometimes it doesn't, as we know. So it's not always easy. But to go through those barriers and help each other, to put on something like a Breakthrough Saturday, there's a lot of details there. There's just a lot of things to handle and things come up. But what I felt and what I think our group felt and what I think I know all of our groups felt was just that sense of accomplishment. And how great it was for me to see people up in front of the room who really didn't want to be there, but were doing a fantastic job. And just the feeling, what it felt like at the end when we each did our part. And then at the end of the day, it was just kind of exhilarating, extremely tiring and exhilarating at the same time, to give us a taste and give us that sense of, wow, we did it. I did it, and we did it. And it's an awesome feeling. So I have mixed feelings because it'll be nice not to drive down here so much, but yeah. I'm going to miss my friends that I've done so much inner work with here, and had so much opportunity to grow here. So in some way I want to continue that.
Good job.
So I just want to say it was really awesome. And I love you all, and I look forward to continuing our relationships and our growth. So.
Good job. Knowledge. I want to see if there's any shares people have about Spirit, because we just got done with Spirit this last weekend. That was a phenomenal experience. A phenomenal group. I really love it that they actually wanted so much challenge that they created a day of pouring rain all day long, right up until the moment of the firewalk.
Yeah. Worse than any of the facilitators had ever seen it.
Yes.
They
Right.
made that comment.
I've never seen that in the whole time I've
1991.
been doing it. I've never seen that in the, 15 or 18 years that I've been doing this workshop. Great. Casey?
That really was, I'll come up.
Yeah.
That really was a phenomenal workshop. I mean, the breakthrough Saturday was a challenge, but not for me. That's not my thing. It's looking inside. I can do a great job for everybody, pretty much any time, but it wasn't like that there, at Spirit. It was, I really got to see the areas that I need to work on that really will impact my life from this point, because I've grown so much and function so much better as a human being now than I ever have in my life. And I realized our very first exercise, the blindfold one, I'm a terrible partner. I'm a terrible partner. I'm a terrible guide. I'm terrible at giving feedback. It was just like, holy cow. I didn't know until I switched and realized how good of a partner Ennis was. He was like all into it. And I was like, I didn't even realize I had these kind of options. And that's how I felt before moving into mastery, was like, now I have options that I didn't know existed. Now it's like, I just didn't have options before. I had feelings and resentments, but no options to get to the other side of that. And Spirit, I got that again. My big, there's so many huge ones, but it was asking for help from the other side, from Source and my guides. And I had the coolest experience after the meeting, when we were all here together. I got home, I parked, and I just had a feeling to go in my backyard. And I've been getting communications. My son shows up in the form of a dove, like pretty much every day. And recently I've been having like 40 birds show up, like hawks and stuff. And I walk around the back of my garage, and there's a hawk, showing off a little bit, and he lands, and then a falcon flies in. And for like 2 or 3 minutes, they were just showing off, showing me their underside, and just right in front of my field of view. And I was overwhelmed. I got it. I had a sensation. It was like, here we are. Thanks for talking to us finally, like we've been waiting. And it was just so powerful. And I realized that's the 2 biggest things, now I get to work on my relationship and myself as a support, and my connection to God is so powerful. And not just God. I realize there's more than just that now. And I always thought it was all kind of the same thing, but it is not. There are most certainly separate ways I'm feeling it, and Jesus was there.
Great.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful.
It was so cool.
So basically, Spirit was like another ho-hum day in paradise.
Again.
Again, a rainy paradise.
Yeah. Oh, and I got to finish with that. It's funny because all in mastery, we've been privately talking about, this is so entry level for a lot of stuff that we know and do. And it's like, man, Gary needs to put on something, that's really advanced and to take you to another level. And we got that workshop with all of the support that we could have gotten to get that experience. So yeah,
Good job.
we helped with that.
Don't let me forget, at the end of the night, I'll add something about what I'm doing with advanced stuff. Okay. Any other shares
Tia.
about Spirit? What was that?
That was a
Setup.
Tia. That was a setup.
A setup.
Setup.
Good job.
Setup.
Okay.
No, thank you. I'll be myself.
Good job.
No!
Jane gets double points.
No, thank you. I'll be myself. That was twice, by the way.
Go, Trista.
Oh, my
Okay, so tonight is about completion, about anchoring in the winds, in your corrections, and catapulting your future. You're coming to the end of the program. No more having to come to meetings. No more having to come to weekend workshops. No more having to look at your game plan. No more having to face your emotional black hole. No more having to deal with being triggered by these people. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Let me hear you say, Amen.
Amen.
Will you still have your process?
Oh, yeah.
Will you still have your battles, challenges, stresses, and triumphs?
Oh, yeah.
Will you still have your breakdowns and your breakthroughs? So tonight is to acknowledge how far you've come, to review your successes, the places where you won, the places where you succeeded, where you did what made you proud, and to identify the barriers, the places where you would have liked to do things differently, any corrections, any place that held back or didn't play all the way, and identify them in a way which actually furthers your action. So there are three main components to using the potential power available to catapult your future through any completion. This isn't just for movement to mastery, it's for any completion. Number one, own the correction. The first is to own my corrections. Instead of beating myself up, admit my 10%. Own what I truly believe is my part. What I lovingly and gently own how I created my movement to mastery program, my process, my progress, regardless of any other influence. What is the part that I can own? This is my power. If I could turn the movie back, what would I commit to doing differently? That's the first component. The second one is to anchor in your wins. This step will be much harder unless I've truly first step thoroughly, to anchor in my wins, to truly admit how much I did do, how far I did come, what I did give to myself, regardless of any mistakes or falling short. It is important to do this experientially, not just as an intellectual exercise. And number three, to catapult my future. The value of any program can be magnified many-fold by owning my corrections, anchoring in my wins, and with an abundance of acknowledging my growth to discover where I want to focus what I've gained in my next steps and future life. If I could turn the movie back, what would I commit to doing differently? And how will I apply the courageously learned lessons into my future? How will I take any regrets, any adjustments, any corrections, and commit to doing something differently in my future? When movement to mastery is over, what is it I want to do? Question, Tristan?
Oh, I wanted to share about spirit. I've had some successes I wanted to anchor in by sharing.
You can do it short and sweet. Go ahead.
Okay. I already started with two big messes that I've been trying to clean up really pretty much the entire I've been in movement into mastery, and feeling like they're finally coming into an end, and feeling the messiness of it. What? Oh,
2 steps to your right.
feeling the messiness of it and feeling how much I don't want to do that behavior with, well, I mean, with married men. Like, we announced it to the whole workshop, so we can announce it all to you if you haven't figured it out yet. So, and being able to clean that up. And then also the opportunity to take care of my body, which was another goal that I set for cleaning up my messes, with resetting my blood sugars, and how things are kind of rolling forth. And I feel like from the last time I did spirit, there's an even higher like standard that I can feel that I want for myself. And so it's like taking it to a whole new level. And I'm so excited about it. I'm so excited about the ability to clean up messes. I know how to do it. I've been practicing it since then, and I'm excited to anchor it in at another level. And I can feel that. I can feel the weight of the messes that I've made, and that I do have the skills to clean them up, and how it feels so good to clean them up. And I'm grateful. Thank you.
It's funny because people who weren't in spirit or didn't do it last year don't really understand the power of cleaning up messes. People who've been through spirit get it. They have a sense of it. And you'll have a bigger sense of it at the post meeting when you get to see what it means to you. Because as you start to clean up your messes, you should start to notice a really interesting burst of energy, personal power.
Can I share that about with Kevin?
Short and sweet.
So Kevin tested me where we were doing some talking about a mess I cleaned up. He was muscle testing me, and he's like, Tristan, you realize you're spending 57% on this particular two situations that are very similar. And I made a commitment. I was like, this is what I'm going to do. Came in and cleared it with Gary. And over those 3 days, like, my energy started returning that I hadn't even realized was missing. And so, I mean, it was beautiful, like not feeling that underlying exhaustion that was coming from thinking about these messes for a long time and trying to figure out a way to get all the way, really get it all out, right? So it was incredible how much my energy level boosted from that.
Right. Excellent. Acknowledge. Okay, I need to move on. So I want you to remember why we avoid completion like the plague. Remember that you have an agreement to attend Movement to Mastery graduation. Let me show you why you definitely do not want to consider missing the graduation, okay? Remember that energy transfers at the moment of completion, like the people who've quit the program all along the way. They will not know what that's like because it's for them, it's unfinished. There's no completion. There's no power. So everything you've invested in your program will happen the moment that graduation is over. All the energy you've been building up in all of the things that you've done, all the encouragement, all the emotional investment, will then hit you subconsciously at the moment that meeting is over. Question?
So if you don't complete it, does it turn into an energy drain like Trish was talking about?
Mm-hmm.
How much of a drain does that become on you?
It depends on how you wire it up. Like Trista was spending 57% of her energy on those two messes, right? For some people, it might be a lot less. It depends on what you say is so. The thing that most people lie to themselves about, they think that when they make a mess, they justify it. Like everybody who's quit the program justifies it, right? You can call them up and say, how come you didn't? And they'll justify it. They'll tell you. But justification doesn't mean it doesn't cost them subconsciously. That it doesn't drain their energy.
So if somebody starts the program like gung-ho full on in, it's going to have a higher cost than somebody's got their toe in the water.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Way to go, Trista, for sticking it out.
The metaphor I use is that if you're at the bottom of the cliff, like on a ropes course, and you're at the bottom of the cliff, and you say, you know what, I'm not ready, I'm not going to do it now. You're really okay. If you get to the top and then you get to the end and you push your fear and you get to the top, you're okay. Halfway up the cliff and then changing your mind, that's not a good place to change your mind. Spiritually, emotionally, you want to know that that's what happens. You know, in my younger years, I would sign up for programs and I'd realize the facilitator was complete crap, or it wasn't nothing like what the brochure said, or it wasn't my cup of tea. It was just, you know what I mean? And in the beginning, I would actually leave the workshop. And then as I began to understand agreements and what it was costing me, I realized that I shouldn't make a commitment unless I'm really solid. Okay.
So you're not the only one that walked out of the room?
No. Oh, I walked out of. I would make KC look like Mr. Ultimate Integrity.
The universe would agree.
And so then I began to learn how much it cost me. And I remember being in an S seminar, and the whole room got really pissed at the facilitator. Like he made some big mistake. I don't remember what it was, but it was big. And so the whole room was like, all their shares were about that. And I got it. And I stood up and I said, guys, you don't get it. Just because it makes you feel good to blame and attack doesn't mean it's serving you. I said, he's the facilitator. If you don't empower him, what are you getting out of it? You know, and I really let the room see that it doesn't matter. You want to get the most out of it you can. So if I ever end up in a workshop that's not my cup of tea, I do everything in my power to make the most out of it for me and everybody else, because that's how I can keep my agreement and have a good time. Questions only.
So if you have a pattern of not following through and quitting things like you did before, and then you come to one decision to complete it,
Yeah.
does that pull all of that energy drain that was over here to turn it into completion and give you energy here?
On that topic, yes.
Okay.
But you may have other messes that are still haunting you from when you were 6, you know, and you've got to clean those up so they can get complete energy.
Okay.
Right.
Would one of the ways to gain as much out of what you didn't complete before would be to own the correction that you didn't complete things, and then make that commitment and see that you're going
Yeah.
to do what you said, which is
Think
make
about
sure it's something
think about
actually
an
you wanna
awakening
do.
style breakthrough. What is an awakening style breakthrough? All it is turning the movie back and redoing it the way you wish you would have. It's completion. Okay, I'll keep going. We avoid completion like the plague because getting to completion confronts our fear of success. We're afraid to succeed because it confronts our emotional black hole. Is it really true that I'm worthless? Is it really true that I'm unlovable, abandoned, stupid, etc., 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 whatever your emotional black hole is? Now, the one thing you want to remember, and I hope you remember long after you've been in this program, you know, I'll tell you, I love meeting with old grads, you know, grads who've been around 10, 15 years ago, whatever, right? Anybody here remember the guy who was in the space chair during the Spirit Workshop named Martin Fox?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember him? Okay, for Spirit Workshop. We had lunch today, you know. He's got some of the best organizations in the world calling him, and he makes up to $5,000 an hour.
Whoa.
And he spent all day Sunday with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he couldn't stop raving about how much he got out of Movement to Mastery and lava. He won't even work with you unless you're a game changer. He has a whole thing that you fill out. And if you can't answer yes to these, and you're more like this, then you should go someplace else. Unless you have the vision, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So understand that when you go for any dream, that the fact that you go for a dream, that you actually decide you're going to dive in and go for a dream, that is tantamount to knocking on the door of the dragon. Like, as long as you don't go for the dream, you're kind of okay. But you go for the dream, it's as stupid as making a commitment. You know, you're knocking on the door of the dragons that have been haunting you since you were 5, and you're saying, come out to play, dragon. See, Marie, if you had never come to this work, you know, you would have been comfortably numb, you know. Then you made the mistake of coming through that door and saying, I think I want more in life. I think I'd like to go for a dream, and it might have been your love life or your money, whatever. And then, oh my goodness, all these dragons and these demons come up and they're there in your face and you get to see yourself. Oh my God, am I a mess making machine or what? Because you're knocking on the door of the dragon. Once you've chosen to go for the dream, the birth begins. And being in the physical realm, you are in the birth canal. Too late to change your mind. And it's easier to own the problems than the touchdowns. Do me a favor, Cheryl. I'm suspicious that my wife stole our clock. So check her office. And if the clock is in there, bring it back. I need that in order to facilitate.
Is her office in the back corner here?
Yeah, right there.
That's funny. I thought you did that on purpose, so we wouldn't know what time we were in.
No, not at the awakening.
Yeah.
As hard as it is to own up, it's always easier for us to own the problems, the mistakes where we failed or fell short, than to own the good news, where we succeeded, where we demonstrated courage or stretching or hit the mark or done good. We give ourselves about 3 seconds of head shaking and then move on to solving the next problem. If you don't take time to celebrate and anchor in your success, you are diminishing and invalidating the power of the success. You're not giving it its proper due. You're robbing yourself of real, tangible, usable power.
Can you repeat that?
If you don't take time to celebrate and anchor in your success, you are diminishing and invalidating the power of the success. You're not giving it its proper due. You are robbing yourself of real, tangible, and usable personal power. Now let's talk about the function of regret. The function of regret. No, you know what? Before I do that, get a partner, pair up and share about any thoughts I've said so far. Go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, that makes me happy.
That makes me happy too.
We're a lot alike, you and me.
My successes were great. Today, I got up, I showered, today, I've been doing that. I've been doing that for a couple months now. And it's anchored in my life. There's some little ones. Start out with little ones. And, most recently, yesterday, was a goal that I had to
Really
go and
watching, just seeing how she's getting this big burst of energy, and it's like, that looks really yummy and delicious to me. So I want that
to the
too.
store, got myself a good thing of good quality vitamins and everything like that, some coconut oil.
And I love how it's connected back to cleaning up mental stores. Wow, who would have thought?
I gotta write it down at the end of the night, and fill that in, and it's
Who would have thought?
I can see how anchoring in my lips, how to me in my future. That's like, oh, I'm just taking another little step. This is another little step. I cleaned my room. I finally cleaned out my car. Those things I've been wanting to do, I haven't done. It's like perfect. It's like I put it in.
It's power. And you know,
Today
you are robbing yourself of energy.
typically I put myself down.
Like, why would I want to do that? But I'm very, good at shaking my head and moving on to something else. Probably the next or saying they did a good job, and I can make it up. They did it. Everybody else did it.
Really? Okay, wrap it up. Okay, let me mention the function of regret. The function of regret, small or big, is the same as all feelings or upset or pain. to make a commitment to the correction. Remember, the function of feelings is commitment. Feeling of the juice of the electricity is commitment.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
It's about messes, and we talked about us cleaning up our messes. What if you feel like someone has a mess to clean up with you? What's a graceful way? Does that go back to like the coaching skills of like, can I coach you on something? I mean, how do you approach someone who you feel like has a mess with you?
That's a good idea. Use the coaching skills. Say, will you coach me on how to say this?
Oh.
It's a little touchy and I want to say it well. I'm afraid that I'll blow it or make it wrong. And I don't want anything between us, right?
Okay.
And then tell them what you tell them and see if they'll coach you. Emily?
Well, isn't it true also that if you feel like someone has something, like you put just as much like between you as they have, like you put just as much between you and them as they have you and them
Like if there's any garbage between you and somebody else, you put it there.
also. So couldn't you just confront them like with your part?
Yeah. You could start off with that.
If I came from that space, I would feel like I was manipulating them.
You don't have to. It's not
I totally
manipulation.
get what you're saying.
It's strategy.
I would be trying to get them to say sorry by saying I'm sorry, which I'm not yet. But I would take their feedback. I would be like, they would say, oh, well, this is what I think you need to take care of, and I'd be like, oh, okay, I see that.
Yeah,
but
I'm
I
just
can't see that right now.
I get how you would wire it up, but I just want you to know that that's not necessary because it could be a strategy that's effective instead of manipulation.
Okay.
Okay.
I can hear that.
So let me give you an example. Regret shows us where we wish we could have done it differently because most people stop there. Instead of listening to the regret, applying it into our now and future. A good example is one of the Movement to Mastery grads in recent years felt like she hadn't had a very wonderful breakthrough at the awakening, then created missing out on lava, then subconsciously ended up missing out much of trainers, pinnacles of presentation. And now many people slipped into huge self-beat up over missing such large pieces of value, but luckily she didn't. When I facilitate her, we play the movie back and she realized that what she would have liked to have done differently, then attempted to creatively apply the corrections into her Breakthrough Saturday and the remainder of her Movement to Mastery and into her life after Movement to Mastery. If she applied these corrections, then the events originally regretted are now worthy of the value. The law is that the blessing is always bigger than the challenge. The law is that the blessing is always bigger than the challenge. So for her, the corrections were the breakthrough at the awakening, processed through any considerations until I can participate fully. If she had applied that lesson, it would be a huge value in her life. Empowerment dialogue. Take responsibility for creating the environment I need in order to feel safe enough to give myself the gift. That's a great correction. Pinnacles of presentation. Own my completion and be ruthless in my commitment to get the information that means the most to me. See, these are all very powerful corrections. Everybody got it? Can you see how all these corrections would catapult this person into being the spiritual master that is her dream and passion? So if you have any regrets about how you've played, don't get defensive. Just play the movie back and ask yourself, how do I wish I would have played differently? Once you've identified these adjustments, what's the most brilliant way I can apply these corrections from this moment on into my life? Just making the commitment will change your state and your personal power. Okay,
Can you
questions?
repeat something for me?
What?
Can you repeat something?
Yeah.
It was at the beginning of that section that you just did.
Regret shows us where we wish we could have done it differently, but most people stop there instead of listening to the regret and then applying it into our now and future. Question?
If someone says, I don't live my life in regret, and then is it 90% of what we say is a projection, right? So does that mean that the person does live their life in their regrets? If they say, I don't live my life in regrets, I don't waste my time on that. Specifically those words.
Well, first of all, that person's an idiot. Because if that was true, they would be what's called translated, or they would just disappear. If Andy told the truth, you would disappear. There, you haven't gotten to the end of the road yet. Okay, so that's the first thing.
I agree with that part.
Yeah.
The idiot part and the other
Right.
part.
So what's the other question?
So if they say that, does that mean that they live more in regrets? Or that they
No,
don't?
not necessarily. It just means that they like to look good and stay on the surface, and they don't like to go below the surface to where those places are that scare the heck out of anybody. That's all.
So they don't like to go inside where it scares them.
Yeah.
They don't wanna look.
So by saying I don't live in my regrets, and that's a protective answer.
Yeah.
Well, that's not very deep. That works.
Okay. Okay. Does somebody here know how to put on music? Mead, will you put on?
Gary, you don't know how to do that.
Will you put on visualization A music?
No, I don't. So maybe you should.
If you play like you wish you would have, even between now and graduation, you could form your entire experience of movement to mastery and walk away feeling tremendous. She's funny, isn't she?
That's so cute.
Did you like the way she did that right out of the blue? Okay.
Got her attention.
Now, take a moment and go with this experiential. Don't just think about it, experience it. Do you realize what you have done? You signed up for and are completing one of the most rigorous, intense, time-consuming, energy-consuming, scary to the point of being terrifying programs available.
Amen.
Some of you wanted to quit the day after you signed up. Did you quit? No. Did you quit any of the dozens of times when you felt like it?
No. Like tonight on the way here, I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I've made it to every meeting.
You dove into workshop after workshop virtually every month for 9 months or more.
Oof.
Should you feel proud? Is it time
Hell yeah.
for a touchdown?
Yeah.
You made calls.
Oh, yes.
Should
I
you
did.
feel proud?
I bet I did.
Is it time for a touchdown?
Yes.
Yes.
You tried to practice all the new skills you were learning. Should you
Oh,
feel
yeah.
proud?
Yes.
Is it time for a touchdown?
Yes.
You did your video presentations.
What?
Should you feel proud?
Yes.
You designed a workshop.
Yeah. Yeah.
You enrolled for a workshop.
Yeah.
You facilitated a workshop.
Yeah.
You either participated in or assisted at several workshops, including the Awakening.
Yes. Thank you.
You shared your value with friends and family and endured them rolling their eyes.
Oh. Yes.
You fell down time and again, felt like quitting time after time, and you got back up again.
I did.
You've demonstrated more courage, more stick-to-itiveness, more determination, more discipline, more commitment, more owning of your responsibility and mistakes, and made the corrections than you may have demonstrated in the last 5 years, more than most people will experience in a lifetime.
Yeah.
And you did it within a year.
Oh, yeah.
Should you feel proud?
Yeah!
Is it time for a touchdown?
Yes!
Gary, are you ready? Put on visualization A. Good, that's it.
I
Turn
learned that.
turn off the lights, Cheryl.
Do that.
You can turn it down. Good. And go ahead and switch it to the second song. Go to your place in nature. Uncross your arms and your legs. If you can, put your feet flat on the floor. Meet, uncross your legs.
Taking on that completion.
Turn it down, Garrett. Thank you. That's good. Run your grounding cord, favorite color of light, going through your body, relaxing your body. Send it down through the earth. Have the center of the earth send the same grounding cord up to yours. Connect with your cord. Gary, a little more down. Thank you. Go to your place in nature, and off in the distance someone is coming, and as they get closer you see that it is your highest self. It is your spirit, your God self, your divinity. Get in touch with what are the special qualities that make up the being that goes by your first name. Do me a favor with each item that you recognize. Just raise your hand and put it back down, or a finger, so that I can see how the room is doing. Good. Gary, just a little more down. Good, thank you. I want you to recall as a child, from the time you were born, in your first and second and third years, recall the battles you fought throughout your childhood. Recall any and all major battles you fought from the time you were born up to the time that you were 8 or 9 years old. Who is the person that got you through those battles? Good. Recall the battles you fought throughout your teen years. With each one you recall, raise your hand and put it back down again so I can see how the room is doing. Who is the person that got you through those battles? Good. Recall some of the major battles you fought throughout your adult years. With each one, raise your hand and put it back down again. Who is the person that got you through those battles? Good. Recall the battles you have fought in the last year throughout Movement to Mastery. Kleenex. Good. Now we're going to recall the value of Movement to Mastery. You're going to have in your mind's eye two screens. The one on the left is the places where you won, where you triumphed, where you succeeded with what made you proud. The one on the right will be the places where you would have liked to have done things a little differently. Any corrections, any adjustments, any places where you held back or didn't play all the way. In the screen on the left, I'd like you to recall any wins from the first weekend, blast off weekend. Feedback circles, giving or receiving feedback, or your interview, game plan, consequences, rewards. Any of the topics and what you will take with you for the rest of your life. Recall any value from the 3 keys to manifest a dream. Conscious plan, the no exits game, an emotional processing to move barriers that surface as you start to move toward the dream, turning red lights into green lights. Do me a favor, with each item you recall, just raise your hand and put it back down again so I can see how the room is doing. Good. On the right theater, recall any places that you would have liked to do things differently. Any corrections or places where you held back. Given any corrections, how are you willing to play now? What are you willing to choose and commit to? In the screen on the left, I want you to identify any wins that you've had throughout the program from learning about and using recreation. Don't want, do want. In the screen on the left, recall any wins that came out of moving emotional energy. On the right screen, recall any places where you would have liked to do things differently with either recreation or moving your emotional energy. Any places where you felt like you didn't apply it as much as you wanted to. And given any correction, how are you willing to play now? What would you like to commit to or choose into? In the screen on the left, I'd like you to recall any value or wins from the evening meetings, like practicing empowerment dialogue, or the power to enroll, or the genie game, or projections or self-empowering circles where you role played, had people role play your old ways and new skills. With each item, raise your hand and put it back down again. With regards to the evening meetings, on the right theater, recall any places where you would have liked to do things a little differently. Any adjustments, any places where you held back or didn't play all the way. And given your correction, how are you willing to play now? Good. In the screen on the left, recall any wins related to empowerment dialogue and Gestalt dream work breakthroughs. How many times have you given yourself the gift of using empowerment dialogue or dream work breakthrough to turn a red light, a stuck place, into a green light? How many times throughout your life will you be able to use these breakthroughs? Good. Screen on the right, recall any places where you would have liked to do things a little differently. Any adjustments, any places where you held back or didn't play all the way. And given your correction, how are you willing to play now? Good. In the screen on the left, recall any wins related to success in relationships course, including how to melt your favorite jerk, or the conversation for getting through, or the demonstration at the end of Friday night, where people went through a visualization coming to the end of their life and then demonstrated communicating in front of the room how much they love their loved ones. Or on the last day, the circles of 100%. I'm already something, and as of now, I do what? Good. In the screen on the left, recall any wins related to magical realms of the sacred self, including voices of the angels, stepping into God's self, using stance and deep breathing and visualization and music to own your power as much as possible, and the 4 steps that can take you to the highest states of being. Good. On the right-hand screen, recall any places in either success in relationships or magical realms that you would have liked to have done things a little differently. Any places where you held back or didn't play all the way. And given any corrections, how are you willing to play now? Good. In the screen on the left, recall any wins from 30 days to peak performance. Choosing to win in a way that worked for you. What value or success came from your awakening style breakthroughs or empowerment dialogue breakthroughs? Or your stretches, either the ones in-house or the ones in public? Working your game plan with your phone buddy? What will you take out of that for the rest of your life? Good. On the screen on the right, recall any places where you would have liked to have done things a little differently. Any corrections or adjustments, any place you held back. And given your correction, what are you willing to choose into and commit to now? Good. If you participated or assisted in the awakening, in the screen on the left, recall any wins from either phase 1 or phase 2 of the awakening retreat, and what you will take with you for the rest of your life. Including peak experiences, or thank you for letting me see how big my love is, or the first breakthrough in front of the room, or the soul reading, or the breakthroughs in your small group, or the process about bringing everyone home, or parents' essence, or connected breath, or the forgiveness process. If you find yourself drifting, just come back to the room and keep going from where we're at. Or the day about higher purpose. Or the farewell process, the death process. Or the homecoming. Good. On the right-hand screen, recall any places related to the awakening where you would have liked to have done things a little differently. Any adjustments or corrections. And given how you would have liked to have done it differently, how are you willing to play now? Good. In the screen on the left, recall any wins from the weekend intensive called Pinnacles of Presentation. Recall any wins related to making presentations or video feedback in your small groups, using the 7 phases of design to design your Breakthrough Saturday, and what you will take with you for the rest of your life. Good. In the screen on the left, Recall any wins related to Breakthrough Saturday. Any wins related to designing and creating, producing, enrolling, facilitating, including taking people through an empowerment dialogue, and what you will take with you for the rest of your life. In the screen on the left, recall any wins related to other courses like Spirit of the Awakened Warrior. Including the exercises about lowering your defensive thermostat, or embracing the brat, or connected breath, or the ropes course and the fire walk. Or the power of infinite progression, or cleaning up your messes. Good. If you have participated in lava, the screen on the left, recall any wins from the Lava Breakthrough Retreat. If you haven't yet, it might be like to go through the rage process where you will guaranteed get some blessings, and to learn how to take other people through a breakthrough, and how you will be able to trade breakthroughs with your peers for the rest of your life. Most people you know are simply not willing to attend experiential workshops, seminars, because they might get to look at themselves and their barriers. In what ways have you been big enough to look at and face your barriers, admit the truth, get off it, and move to higher ground? With each item you recall, please raise your hand and put it back down again. Everybody go ahead and raise your hand and put it back down again so I know you're still awake. Good. In the screen on the left, I'd like you to recall, what have your triumphs, your courage, meant to those around you? In what way has your courage and your triumphs made a difference for others in your life? Recall as many of the ways that you have been a gift to others by learning what you have learned, by using what you have learned in Movement to Mastery. With each item, please raise your hand and put it back down again. How have you been a gift to those in your life by showing up and shining? Good. Good. Let it go. Don't be afraid to make some noise. Recall any and all of the little or big wins that you've had because of your dedication, your commitment, and your courage. Recall any and all little or big wins that you've had this last year because of your courage. Take some deep breaths and breathe in your wins and your triumphs. Let it go. Good job. Good. I'm going to count from 1 to 5, and as I count, you're going to find yourself feeling more and more refreshed and alive and awake and content and back in the room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At your own pace, allow yourself to come back to the room without whispering or talking. When you're ready, I want you to get a partner and just share back and forth your favorite wins or successes, your favorite triumphs, okay? You share one, they share one, back and forth. Go. Okay, Cheryl.
My relationship with my husband
Cheryl.
entire relationship workshop because I was already here to go my rounds. So it was like good thing to be in my face. Yeah, I really do. It's one of my main strategies. So it was good to see him.
Sorry, my brain has gone all sorts of directions. It's the little ones.
And I was thinking about everybody does it. But maybe they don't. It's just better. But I don't see how much
Major.
You don't have to push it. It's good to be able to see I'm
Okay, wrap it up. Now I want you to say to your partner, and I want you to intend that they get it. I want you to say, no matter how many mistakes you make, I will be there for you.
Yeah, we're flipping it.
They're like the size too big. I'm trying to put some stuff in, trying to make it smaller. And they melt it. Always right
Okay. If anybody has a burning share, I'll take 1 or 2 shares from that last visualization. Gary, you want to turn down the music? Thank you. Mead?
Hi, Don. I don't stuff it when I'm triggered anymore. When I'm triggered, I admit it. I am triggered. I've had one of the best coaches to push my buttons again and again and again and again and again and again.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I will admit when I'm triggered now. I'll admit when I'm triggered. And admitting when I am triggered changes it and starts to transform it. And I finally am feeling it.
Excellent. Good job. Oh, and I forgot, Sherilyn is going to be watching this too because she had her baby a week ago. Yoo-hoo! Okay, Marie.
So I still have, I noticed that one of my patterns is if I feel like I didn't actually complete the class or whatever it is I was planning on doing in completion in the way that I visualized it, then I don't feel like it was a success. I'm realizing how much of a pattern that is in my life. But I will say, so going through that visualization and seeing the stuff that I didn't feel like I fully did in my mind, I was like, oh, I don't know how much of a success this is, but I was sitting there, I was like, I did this class twice. I did this 2 years in a row. So that says something. And I was like, I don't know what that says, but there was something about it. But there's something about it, I was like, I did this twice. And I'm proud of that. Right here.
to make sure in the visualization I remembered that, and I don't know
Louder?
who of you put money in for me to do Movement to Mastery, but I started off with a box of tissues and asking for donations so that I could have my deposit. And I just hope that you've gotten back what you invested in me. And if you haven't, then I will make sure that you have my phone number so we can stay in touch, because I really appreciate the experience. And you guys don't know this, but I was looking forward to Movement to Mastery being over so that I could go back to being closed and not open and shutting down my emotions and protecting myself. Because this is like a safe place. This is like therapy. You can go in and go, okay, this is where you lay on the couch and tell whatever, you know. But I made a commitment in the visualization that I'm going to remember how I felt with each one of you and what you guys did when you opened your heart to me and let me feel your family. And I was forgetting those things because all the meetings and all the phone calls and all the stuff, and I've been like running like the car. And now that Movement Mastery is over, I'm gonna do my best to remember you guys. So call, write, whatever. And I'm gonna not shut down and not protect myself and try to find some other companion so I'm not feeling alone. So thank you for being my friends. Thank you for investing money, and do it again for somebody. And most of all, thank you, Gary. I know you sold your soul to Gary.
I can buy it back with money.
My brother funded my awakening and is doing everything in his power. So I just want to thank him publicly for that, because he took an investment on me. And one of the biggest goals that he has is to help abused women and single moms. And I never looked at myself like that until my brother pulled me out, and it continues to do so. So thank you. My first, what is it, subject or whatever he says. So yeah.
Good job.
Come to our party next Friday.
Jane Lasher.
I'm remembering how lucky I am that I could go to the awakening to both parts and have so much fun and just enjoy every minute and love so big and just love so big and then get to love more. And I'm especially grateful for the experience to hold space during the connected breath and to have the experience of how much I love and how much I love to love and hold space and keep people safe and let them have their own process and stay out of their way and just know that everything is in divine order, that I am a part of that, that I have a heartbeat for that, that I am important, and that that is a very crucial role in people's development and healing, letting them have their own path. And I am so grateful to have the reframe that that is what my part in our family was when I was very young. And to have the reframe that I wasn't picked on and that I wasn't put upon by having a mother that had a tenuous hold on her mental health, that it was a blessing, that I loved every minute of it. And it just healed my relationship with my mother, who is gone now, and I'm so grateful for that. It changes every minute of every day of my life, and I am so grateful that I had that experience. And I had many, many more great experiences, but just to know that how big I love, and that's a talent, skill, that it's important, that I am good at it, and that I love to do it, and it's fun for me. So thank you very much. And thank all of you.
Okay, take a 15.
Ho, 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 I love you, Rodney, so.
Take a 15-minute break. Go.
Yeah, you're supposed to respond to me, Rodney.
Yeah.
No.
Isn't that the deal?
Gary said something.
I wanted to share that. I had so much fun at your. I had so much fun driving in the car, and I think
She points at the door.
driving my car.
Door. And then she points at you and she's like,
Wait,
"Bobby,
where?
good job."
Oh, she said door?
Yeah, she said door.
Oh, yeah.
I think she said door.
That's so
Puppy.
fun.
Door
Door
puppy. That's probably it.
Yes. And yes, I had so much fun. As you guys facilitated some laughter yoga.
There's
Some of those were actually.
It made me
Oh,
so happy.
so much fun.
It made me so happy.
It's so much more fun to your workshop. It was fun in mine too. I loved it.
But you got to play.
Yeah, I love this kid play. I feel so bad that it was for
2 years.
That
That's something, I think.
Oh,
It does.
you played what you
Says
did
a lot.
so face in the workshop. It was so fabulous. Your shares being you, like just being totally in.
It was really fun. I would never know that you were taking.
I love you, lady.
Okay.
That was your workshop. Oh, it was really, really fun. Yeah. It was really awesome.
Saturday, Sunday, and just hang out with the people. I met a whole new crew of more of these awesome people. Okay.
Okay. Sandra, I have to.
In 3 days.
The day before. Gary,
That's
you have
why
time
we're
for a question?
Yeah.
So I had beautiful water experience.
Beautiful what?
Water experience, you know, my house.
Oh, yeah. I
multiple
remember.
times.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, I look back at it, and things that happened were my washing machine broke, and my faucet, and then a little flood affected my upstairs and downstairs. And after it was over, it was like, you know, that kind of sucked, but at the same time, it gave me all these blank things that I had been wanting, but felt like I couldn't afford. And then this time with the water, it's the same thing. Like right before it happened, like the week of, I was like, I wish the house were ready to sell, and didn't feel financially we could get it ready within the time frame that I wanted it ready by. And then the water happened. So I had this discussion with Charlotte, and she's, you know, I don't think I have water issues. And she's like, yes, you do. You're just a fabulous creator that you make it work out for you. So I'm kind of like, is it really a water issue, or was this just the means of providing what I wanted, but felt like I couldn't do it financially on my own?
I don't know. It could be either one. But water issues are about emotions. So it's usually a way of expressing emotions that are not being expressed.
I would have to say though, this year's been interesting because I've actually expressed emotions way better than I have. I mean, I don't hold back emotions. I suppress, let's say this way.
If you look at each incident that has water stuff,
Mhm.
ask yourself, what was the stress or emotion that was coming up right before that happened, the week before that happened? Yeah. So then the feelings might have been so big, or the frustration might have been so big that it created water.
But interesting to me is that I created a water issue that gave me what I wanted. That was frustrated about.
Well, you can wire it up that way. You can say it's anything that you want it to be. Yeah, if that serves you, then great, do it.
Well, the reason why I'm asking questions, and the reason why I discussed it with Charlotte, is because I don't want to be tricking myself and then just keep having water issues. But I haven't seen.
I think by
a
wiring it up the way you
big
want to
shift.
be, it would help it.
Okay, because I see a big shift in my finances and stuff, and in the way I'm thinking about money. And what's happening now is I have a realization of maybe I didn't.
Hold on a second. Cheryl, do you know what time it was when we give them a break?
Yeah, 10:17 or something, 8:17.
Oh, good, you're watching time.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just let me know when we,
I'll call 5 minutes.
yeah, thank you.
I see where I'm becoming aware of the thoughts, which is part of the process of them being such a So it's like, I feel like now, where before I was more on the downside of the scale, I'm on the upside of the scale more often, so that things are flowing in that direction now. I did have one question. I know before I kind of turned it off, I got really good at how to get to it all. And right coming into the break on Saturday, things started to turn on more. And then right after that, it was like a flood. And I don't sleep so well lately. I mean, I had difficulty sleeping anyway, but I think it was for a totally different
What's
reason.
turning on?
The download. It's like information download pouring in. But my physical body isn't quite able to keep up with this acceleration that seemed to flip up. And so I'm wondering how to get that into balance.
Sometimes I need to take an Ultra, sometimes I need to take an Ultra and a fourth of the Somnimax so I can make sure I get some sleep. But one technique that Eckhart told me,
I can actually notice it. The problem is when you're waking up at 2 or 3 o'clock and not going to sleep until 5:30 when you've got to be up at 6.
yeah,
And I don't fall asleep so easy.
I got it.
That's where I'm running into.
One technique that Eckhart Tolle said is that when you're busy up here and it's keeping you awake, then start focusing on your body. Focus on your body sensations so that you get out of this. As that can help. Although I think sometimes, the Somnimax and an Ultra makes a difference. Yeah. Thank you.
Jay, I have all of this fuzzy energy, man. Yes.
What time do we have?
That whole song.
Good one. Okay, I'll go listen to it.
No.
Was it good?
Excuse me.
That's a good message. Yeah. And we still have our switchy folks. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. That's just. I need. I don't know about you. I will hear it after this. So I'm still looking forward to it. But when I was
You ever scared?
that
I don't know.
sessions out.
But she's built this a little bit to compromise that.
Once every 2 weeks.
No. We scare our son all the
I am
time.
gonna be doing it.
Huh?
We scare our son all the time.
I do recognize that sometimes, so I will.
Yeah, the ones that say that, they're not wonderful.
I'll wait a little bit more. I'll wait a little bit
So she's a
longer.
little older.
2 weeks.
Yeah, and then I see
Yeah,
her.
my guy.
I don't know, because you know what, he scared our daughter the other day and she cried them. But our son, nothing.
You know, maybe you can pull some.
Yeah.
5
minutes?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but
How many minutes?
I got it.
5.
Yeah.
My daughter, my son.
But so I haven't done anything, because I need this to get over
That's the
first.
point that I can escape.
Because there's a woman that,
My ex-wife was always
she lives in
complaining.
Bountiful, and she's a graphic tech, and I need to get together with her so that I have the
You should
notes,
not be doing that.
and, like,
And
so
then
that
we were driving.
I need
I was
to,
teaching my daughter how to drive.
I need her
And
to get me
we
jump
was going
started.
late at night to
And
the
then
mall
I just
when
need
it's closed
to,
down, so
like,
there's
call her and
almost no
stuff,
cars.
so I'm gonna need a little
And
bit
we're
of
driving
front
around
end.
all that, and one of those
But I would like
corners
to do
that's kind of dark, all of a sudden, kids in those little sporty cars came out of the corner without no lights, nothing.
Wow.
And my daughter was able to control the car and everything else. She did not get scared. She just
I'm
do whatever she
Control,
could, took control of the car.
And so,
And once she
Well,
stopped
I
the
mean,
car,
put it out
and
there and
if
just
she
feel
would
like
have
you
not
have
taken
something
control, we would have been in an accident.
So
Right.
be with it, and if you're
Once she took
comfortable enough,
control of the car,
Okay.
and she sat down, and a second later she looked
let's
at,
be frank.
oh,
I'm
God,
gonna put it honest with you.
but she got scared.
You are.
Right, the adrenaline, she just took.
Yeah,
the
she didn't react.
Good for her.
So I know that
And
it's there.
after that, my
Okay.
wife
I'm
looked,
very nice.
well, at that time she was my wife, she looked at
I
me,
just.
I'm not gonna say nothing.
It worked.
Like
your parenting skills are great.
Some other ones,
You know,
so it may be,
you
but like I
I
said,
was
it's a
told
choice.
them, you
Okay.
cannot
So
have
don't
the
feel
luxury
pressured
of
to have an
it. It's-
expectation of you.
Okay.
It's just
Just like
everyone's-
All right,
that
I wonder
situation,
about
if
that.
you get scared, that is the
So-
whole difference.
Yeah.
because I think you've just landed on, that's what I want in the world, and that's what I'm so
Flustered, you know.
scared.
So you're just like,
So so then I think, well, I'll do it this way, oh, I won't do it that way, I'll do it this way, I won't do it that way, but, you know.
Do it.
Remember, I was, since I was younger, I was took all the advices and person that I heard about, and stuff like that, I was took it serious. There was a doctor,
We had these for our break for Saturday, and I kept it in my
the
fridge.
doctor told me. And I did it with-
I really have.
Read it out,
I
and I know.
Sounds like it.
It was so much fun.
I
had so much fun.
How many guests did you have? I think we ended up with.
And then.
well,
How many did you get? I was just excited because I got 2 people there, and I was like, I wasn't sure if it was gonna happen. I was like, I got 2 people.
Me too.
Oh, sorry.
We did good.
There we go.
I was terrified.
I wanna hear about more than terrified. I was horrified.
Oh my God. I didn't have to pay for one, but it worked.
She is, she's very
Aw.
You know, when he was talking about his facilitator, he said, I had a facilitator that just, so
Aw.
she facilitated one too. Holly was like, so I.
Which is wonderful. The group's better than the facilitator.
Yeah, exactly.
We had it's hard to like.
I don't think
Uh-huh.
I would have been thinking, I was like, I was like, I need to wear some of your. There you go. Don't say your intention.
you know, we were kind of close.
I've walked there before. So I-
1 minute to chairs.
Oh, that's no.
Oh, that's so awesome.
No, you have to get phone.
Served me in my goals to see her.
I'm going there Monday.
Probably not. You got a busy day this weekend, and I just want some downtime.
Yeah, same here. I'm just, this weekend, I was. I don't want to
Did you call time?
I said 1 minute to cherish this now.
We got 3 places. 3 places you can go.
Okay, so we're going to vote on which of these things you would like to receive as an additional gift. Okay? So read through them, and then we'll go down and see which one gets the most hands raised. You can choose one of the Movement to Mastery workshops like Blast Off or coaching certification, which Sarah is going to produce this year.
Can you tell us a little bit more about coaching certification?
Basically, the heart of it is recreation, but the one she's going to do this year will not be a regular 4-day workshop. It'll be without private practice success.
Without what?
Without private practice success. Like usually when it's a 2 evening, an afternoon, and a day, it has all the different skills from recreation, don't want, do want, all the different ways to apply it, plus a day of how do you build a private practice successfully. And we're going to do a 1.5-day version and leave out the private practice success. Okay?
And so will this be certification through you to be able to
Basically, you pay for the course. You do 10 sessions and log them, so I can look at a piece of paper and go, yep, they did that, on that day, and that kind of thing. And you pay $50 extra for the certification, and then you basically get a certificate, and then you do that.
And then you coach others.
If you want to, you can charge 25 to 100 when you're ready, and then when you're ready, you can charge 50 to 150, and then when you're ready, you can charge my rates.
And you won't reconsider making it longer than 1.5 days?
No, because unless Sarah's willing to produce it, then it's too much trouble. So if you can enroll her into making it a regular full workshop, that's okay with me. But at this point, I think she's willing to do a 1.5 days, and then because she's also going to produce, right now she's producing Lava, relationships course, blast off. You know what I'm saying? She's got her hands full.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the coaching is going to be, if you look at the 2015 calendars at the back of the room, coaching is going to be early January. Okay. So you can either choose one of the workshops that you can do. You can choose attending some of the key meetings for next year's group. You can come to a special meeting, a 1-evening course that I'm planning for seminar leaders and breakthrough leaders to teach advanced info about space dynamics and presentation and try out some new processes that I'm putting together. I will mention what Casey was talking about tonight. Part of the trouble with trying to grow a business is that every workshop has great material that I only get to touch upon. In the design of a workshop, you have to design it so that they have a crescendo and then they could possibly enroll into something like the Awakening. What that doesn't let me do is go into advanced material. I could take any workshop, take any module in that workshop, and I could do a whole day's worth of experiential stuff on it. Like what I could do for couples as an advanced course would blow the roof off. Or parenting. Take any workshop, any module. I can do advanced stuff that takes the roof off. So that's an example that night. A free 30-minute one-on-one session with Gary to connect the dots of this year's program and catapult the future. This is not a regular one-on-one session. Those interested would fill out the Dreammaker evaluation form ahead of time and bring it with them. And it literally is only to get you to realize how much you've gotten out of Movement to Mastery. If you've already gotten that, you don't need that. That's basically to help you connect the dots. Okay, Relationships, Magical Realms, or Imagine course you can go through for $100, $150. If you give your $150 certificate to enroll a friend, you can do it for free. And an additional gift, everyone currently signed up has one gift you can give to a loved one to participate in Blast Off Weekend as our guest in order to see if they can choose any Movement to Mastery. Okay? So, everybody clear on the different options?
So, the number 1 that says choose a free course.
Yeah.
Those are the only ones that you can choose from?
Well, you can't choose awakening, lava, or spirit, or success beyond sales. Those are special prices.
Could you choose relationships?
Yeah.
Like the one that you do in February? 'Cause
Yeah.
I can't do the one you're doing in November. You usually do one in February,
Yeah.
right?
It's on the 2015 calendar.
Okay, right. So that one's on there as well, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you could choose like blast off, relationships, magical realms, pinnacles of presentation, empowerment dialogue, any of the movement to mastery workshops.
Yeah.
The only ones you can't choose are the ones that cost us a bunch of money to put on and all that stuff. Okay, everybody ready to vote?
Yep.
Okay. Those who want number 1, raise your hand. Okay, number 2. Okay, number 3. Okay, number 4. Okay, number 5. Okay, excellent. Great. Okay, so I lied to you. You get all of them.
Oh, that's so cute.
That's your bonus. The reason I had you vote was so you would get invested.
Oh,
You know?
awesome.
Jane, you're supposed to be calling setup. Double points.
It was so good, nobody knew.
That's awesome.
That was good.
That was a good setup.
I
So
love
are you
being
really gonna
sneaky.
do that one evening course for seminar leaders?
Funny you should mention that.
Well, I was engrossed in what he was saying.
Look at the second page.
No, that's right.
Yeah, cool.
Okay,
Read your packets.
how many of you
So
How many of you would guess that I may have more up my sleeve?
Oh, that's not a shock.
What a shock.
Just a minute, let me ask source.
What a shock. Okay, these are some of the things I'm going to cover on that night. How to know if your clients, the projects that your clients are passionate about will result in either a blessing or a lesson. I told you how I do that with people, right? I've told you how Jane can come to me and say, I've got this new business I'm really excited about, da 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 da. And then I can tell her, looking at the next 4 or 5 years, what's going to happen to that project. I'm going to teach you on that night how to do that. That's an advanced level skill and one that will pay off in your future, I promise you. Right?
Oh, never mind, I'll ask you later.
Okay. Introduction to seeing the next few years of your client's process, powerful process to accelerate your presence and ability to be present. If any of you are actually thinking about being in front of the room in your future, that's very beautiful advanced level material. Pinnacles of Presentation is great. It's better than most any presentation course in the country. And this is beyond that. This is advanced. Okay, advanced dynamics about creating space in facilitation. You might want to bring your trainers of the future or your Pinnacles of Presentation manual. Advanced dynamics in one-on-one facilitation, usable in breakthroughs. Like, for example, when somebody's stuck, how do you get them into their feelings? Certain things like that. That's a good example. Introducing new innovative process to accelerate the level of feedback, coaching, and personal movement in your life. Grooming to lead seminars, become an affiliate, turn your passion into profits. Okay, so now I want you to know that on the back of the first page, coaches, small group leader benefits, those are things that I offer for the people who are coaches for Movement to Mastery. So if you're looking at a next step, that's a good one because, for example, Marie and Wendy paid half the full price for this program to do it again, right? Yeah, you're a reviewer. This is not the first time you did it. You did not pay full price.
I think I got a discount.
Yeah, they paid like 30 some odd, 3,000 something. You paid half of that because you're a reviewer. So if any of you decide you want to do it again, you can do it and do it for half price. Okay?
Who wants to do it next year with me? Come on.
Gary.
Triple reviewer.
I know.
This is my second time, but I paid full price. But I'm okay with that. So I got my money's worth.
This is your second time doing it?
I mean, I did Dream Makers. Isn't that the same thing?
Well, it would be translated the same thing.
Yeah.
And you
so-
owe her half back.
Yeah. No, I got my money's worth.
I got it. And you know what, honey? I'll apply half of that money that you paid to something else that you want to do if you want to.
Oh, okay, but no, I think I'm good. I'm good.
Jane, next year. Next year, come on.
Yeah.
So what I want you to know is that on the back of it is the coaches. Like you've seen people here like Cheryl and you know, Moroni and Sarah and different people on some nights of your Movement to Mastery. And they're usually here like a couple of shifts on a weekend workshop, right? And those people get very special benefits. So those are the benefits listed on the back. You might look those over and see what they are. And one of the best reasons to even consider that particular course is because you still have dreams, you still have challenges. And by being on the coaching program, you actually don't have anywhere near the time or energy that you've been spending the last year, right? Mm-hmm. You have very minimal time and energy requirements, and yet you still get to play, like you get to do blast off, create a game plan. It's up to you. You know what I mean? You get to have your own phone buddies. You get to do all the work of the program you're in now, but with much less time and energy and commitment.
No breakthrough Saturday.
No breakthrough Saturday. Because the main thing that we want is big brothers and big sisters for the people that are going through the program. You know, we want you to kind of be there and hold their hand and say, hey, look, you know, it's okay, and you're going to go through it.
death.
Yeah.
You're not
And
gonna
for anybody who sees themselves as being a healer or facilitator of any kind, I want to say it's a no-brainer. I mean, you really want the practice of facilitating people. Like, that's one of the things I've loved the most about you being in the role that you're in, is that I've seen you facilitate people time and time and time again. And that has upped your level of perception. And you're like getting more disciplined, keeping agreements. That affects you on a huge level. Like, if people understood how much it served them to really heal and facilitate other people, they would do it all the time. Except for Sandra. She'd do less. Marie.
So this is something I'm really interested in doing, and I would like to do, but I know that my coaching and facilitating skills are
Excellent.
Very
Excellent.
awful. So I'm hesitant in doing it just because I've tried coaching and facilitating people. I was like, man, I do not have that skill. It's something I can gain, yes, but I don't have that skill at all.
Yeah, let me address that. The biggest mistake potential healers make in their life is believing that they have to get better enough before they make a difference.
Yeah. Oh, can I say something?
Hold on, guys. I'll be right back to you.
Okay.
You know why I created the relationships course? Because my love life was always my biggest pitfall. And I knew that if I created that course and kept facilitating it, I could get healing on my issues. So you don't wait until you're better enough. You know, some people keep going back to school, like they get several doctorates. You know what I mean? Like, that is so ass backwards. What you do is you put your ass on the line and you make a lot of mistakes and you learn and you grow. And while you're learning and growing and making a lot of mistakes, you make a difference in people's lives. It's just like lava. You know, people are scared to take someone through a breakthrough. And what they don't know that the breakthrough leaders know is that it's not you doing it. The real key to being a breakthrough leader is to get out of the way. Listen to spirit. What the breakthrough leaders know, because like what we tell the participants at the awakening, just raise your hand and the breakthrough leader will do the rest. They know what they're doing, right? And the breakthrough leaders do. Because they don't know what they're doing. What they do is they're really good at getting out of the way. They've done enough breakthroughs to know that the best tool in the world is to get out of the way. Why does that picture keep popping in my head? Right? Why? That doesn't make any sense. Why am I seeing a picture of a belt? Oh, I get it. Did your dad use a belt on you? Okay, good. Let's take your belt off. Good. Let's snap it a few times. Oh, does that bring up some memories? Great. You know, you get out of the way. So really, Marie, best thing you could do for yourself is start being a gift. You know, and don't worry about the fact that you don't have any skills. You know, get in the game, get ready, and make some mistakes, and, you know, love yourself through them.
Wahoo.
Acknowledge.
So Marie, I've heard you give some extremely insightful comments to people. That is coaching.
Yep.
You already have skills, woman.
Yep.
Just telling you have skills.
And I want you to know, honey, that if you're in this program, I can give you specific exercises, each one of you. I can give each one of you very specific exercises on what you should be doing in order to accelerate your own facilitative ability. Okay? Acknowledge.
I had a really sweet moment in my visualization that it was really pertinent to this. I'm so glad you spoke up. When Gary says, visualize your higher self coming to you in the visualization, it was like, oh, she's really strong and powerful. And all of a sudden, Marie is the person coming towards me as my higher self.
Wow.
I'm like, oh yeah, it's like that. It's just like that.
That's interesting.
So I wanted to tell you that.
Thank you.
So never sell yourself short. You're a beautiful warrior goddess that reflects so much of my higher self to me. So thank you.
Good job. Acknowledge.
Okay, so I'm going to get up in front of the camera for this one because, Marie, I was there when you had your breakthrough. And you had a breakthrough unlike any other breakthrough I've ever seen. You were pounding out all the negatives, and then you were pounding in all the positives. And you're pounding all the positives. You have so much power. You have so much to give. And you have an innate ability to know what is needed.
Yeah, thank you.
Acknowledge. See, that's what I need. I need leaders. I need people who will get out of their own way and speak the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Show up, shine, be a gift. I'll come back to you. I want to give you some examples of what I want leaders for. I want leaders to join us arm in arm in transforming, redesigning, and catapulting this mighty work. I want your feedback, your coaching, your ideas, your brainstorming, your passion, and your leadership skills in making this powerful work all it can be. I need dedicated people to join the staff for visioning. I would be fine with people who have the abilities to actually do breakthrough Saturdays once in a while. You know what I mean? Do your gig to get so we can have people go to them and use it as an enrollment tool. I'd like people to lead monthly guest events. I'd like people to lead a game of service program. So people who don't have money for the work can come and get a free program and assist at the workshops and see enough workshops that they will actually start to get the money to be in the workshops. I'd like people to learn how to do blast-off interviews. Those people get paid. I'd like you to learn how to do genie games, which, by the way, would make you successful. If you're really good at genie games, you know how to shortcut them and do them, and you know it doesn't matter what business you're in, you can really do good at it. So That's what this night is about. This night is about giving you enough of a taste of some of that great advanced stuff that hopefully I can get some coaches out of it for the next movement to mastery. By the way, the next movement to mastery is already looking like a pretty good program. Got some amazing people, Holly and James Fair, and Leslie, and different people.
Leslie's.
So I am interested in moving forward and being a gift with your organization. I have a consideration about making enrollment calls. I don't like doing it.
That's not a part of that program.
And that's what I was going to ask, because I remember that there was a program a couple of years ago that's the producers team, huh? Okay, and I just was making sure this isn't that renamed or something, right?
Although I do want to say, I hope sometime you get over that and get beyond that, because you've got a business that depends on that, and you want to get good at it.
I don't mind making enrollment calls for my business.
Great.
I don't like making them for your business.
I'm going to start doing a monthly thing where I take my producers team and I let them make calls here. And then I coach them. It would be worth being on that team just so I can coach you.
Yeah.
Unless you want to pay me.
Right.
Because I've had so many people who did great before they met me, like the real estate guy who was making $20,000 a month already. But after I coached him, his sales went up 60%.
Yeah.
If you're on a team and you get free coaching, that's valuable.
I feel very, very passionate about what I'm going to say. So please be patient. Who are any of you to decide what kind of a healing somebody wants? Because I had that same excuse. Who are any of you to decide that what you're capable of offering isn't exactly what they're only ready to accept? Who are you to say that God doesn't know right when He inspires you? You are making assumptions, and when you do that, you take away a person's choice. We are all here for that reason, to have a choice and a say. Who are you to take away their opportunity, their option of making the choice and choosing into that level of healing that they're ready for? And I'm going to teach you something. When you assume, you are only making an of you and me, because you're robbing people of an opportunity to choose something that God is offering to them through you.
Good job. I'm anticipating a big increase in my income quickly. Like, I'll know by Christmas, and the money will start coming in next spring, and then hugely in summertime, probably, most likely. As that happens, I won't be doing the work that I'm doing now. You will be. You will be leading those courses. I'll be doing the more advanced stuff for the people that I need to train to lead awakenings, stuff like that. So I'm just letting you know. Probably next year's Movement to Mastery will be the last program that I lead of that program. So get your friends to things like Blast Off Weekend. Okay, let's talk about graduation. Wendy.
I just have a question. I might be wrong, but when we signed up at Blast Off Weekend for Movement to Mastery, when we paid our money, did you say we got a free one-on-one coaching session with you? No.
No.
I'm imagining that.
Yeah, the one-on-one was the thing you just got for people that need to connect the dots and see
Right,
if they,
I get that was today, but you never, that wasn't part of our program?
if I did, it was I was pointing to this.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. People on the producers team get that, but not just
Oh,
people
that's where I heard it then.
in the producers team.
If people join the producers team, they get a
Right.
free one-on-one session.
Yeah, and if you look at your flyer for the coaching program, you'll see that the coaches, the last one says that they basically get, like if they sign up for the 6-month program, they get 2 30-minute sessions. If they sign up for the entire program, they get 4 1-hour coaching sessions with me. In other words, by being in the coaching program, you get either 4 1-hour or 8 half-hour.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Trista.
I realized I have a mess to clean up with the group. Another
Oh, you did just
worse than that.
What did he say?
He said another one.
You did what?
I can't believe it.
You're
Better
just
put up there
so
so the other two there on.
I raised my hand to volunteer to call people for the finances
Right.
in, I think it was May to June. And I sold out when I volunteered because I don't remember. I just remember knowing that it wasn't really true for me after I'd done it, and I never went and renegotiated the agreement. So what I did do that didn't work was that I wasn't offering support to you, all of you as a group, which was my job to do for that month period of time and check in. So any of you who were struggling financially and wanted that support, I absolutely was not there for you. And I'm really sorry.
Good job, thank you. Acknowledge.
Oh.
Aren't you glad you're the forgiveness? There are two. The guy disappeared as well. So I think I had the third and the last part of it, and I did not do it either. So
good job, acknowledge.
That forgiveness process.
Priceless. Go ahead.
I have a question. When we were doing our game about all the agreements, and the losing side was supposed to do something.
Ice cream.
Yeah, we never got our ice cream.
Oh, that's next week.
Did we?
I've heard that like
Every graduation.
Then we get it every
Sorry, ice cream next.
Is there one person who's coordinating all of that?
Wait, are we supposed to do ice cream tonight?
no, it's graduation night.
I've got bowls.
You can do something on graduation night. It's very typical that after graduation, people go to somebody's house or have a party or something. So
We're having the party before.
We're having a
Night
party
before.
on Friday.
okay, let me tell you about graduation. Okay.
Hey, before we move on to that, do you remember the whole Charlotte situation? I was supposed to be reporting to Charlotte, and you asked me to check in and see what that was. I did, and what it was for me is, I'm going to use very careful words here. I was protecting this group from Charlotte. I didn't like what she was doing. I didn't see the benefit in the amount of contact she was forcing on everyone. So I cut that tie and said, no, I'm sorry. This is not your program. It's not your group. If I need help with these guys, I will come to you. I didn't need help with anybody, so I never went to her. So that's what I did for the group. And I wish I would have came and talked to you guys and said, like, I don't feel like this is really beneficial for the group. I feel like it's actually bad, and that was my honest feeling. So sorry I didn't talk to you guys, because a lot of you really get a lot of service from Charlotte, and I know that. So, I'm sorry that I cut that off if that was something that you were wanting and just use that on my own perception.
Yeah, and actually, I was the one that you needed to talk to in order to do that.
Well,
that would have worked.
Yeah. So sorry to you as well.
Thank you. Acknowledge. Okay, let's talk about graduation. Okay.
Completion.
Saturday, October 11th. Okay. The time is right now currently set at 5:30. Okay.
AM? Jeez.
Wait, what did you say? Did you say
I just
that
wanted to
again?
wake everyone back up.
5:30 a.m.
You and your guests will be here at the office at 5:30 a.m. sharp. Okay, in essence, what will happen is that you will get into your small groups. Your loved ones, you'll sit in a circle, and your loved ones will sit all around you, which is part of why you want to have guests. And then you'll have a certain amount of time per person. In the small group, the person will say, what I would like to be acknowledged for my Movement to Mastery program is, and you'll tell them short and sweet what you want to be acknowledged for. And your guests will then raise their hand, and you'll call on different people, and as many as people can acknowledge you in the time that's available, that will happen. When that's done, okay, we'll take a short break, we'll come back, and then one at a time, you'll sit in the front rows, and the guests will be on the edges. And then you'll stand up here in front of the room and tell the whole room what you want to be acknowledged for. We'll give you a rose and a certificate. If you're not done with some of your requirements, like haven't finished paying for the program or things like that, you'll get a certificate that looks like a Xerox copy, and then you'll get the real one when you're done with that. Okay? After you tell the group what you want to be acknowledged for, they acknowledge you, and we do that one at a time until everybody's been acknowledged, okay? And I may break it up a little bit. I may be doing a little bit of that before the groups and then some of it after, and I may break it up so it doesn't kill space. Then we'll do a very sweet, inspiring process to kind of wrap things up, and then you'll be done, and for the next day or two, the energy will hit you.
About how long will the graduation go?
My guess is 2.5 hours. I don't have it in my book, so I don't remember, but that's a good guess. From 5:30 to like, yeah,
Eight-ish.
Eight-ish. Eight-ish. And it won't surprise me if it's only a couple of hours, but let's just say 8-ish.
Yeah.
Okay? Good.
All right. How many guests can we invite?
As many as you want. Okay?
How old?
And there will be a drawing, and at least 5 people who are your guests will get Blast Off Weekend as a freebie. Oh, there will also be some Success in Relationships courses given away that night.
Is there an age, like, no younger than?
No younger than 9. You need to find a babysitter that night.
She's not 9?
9.
She's too cute.
99.
Her spirit's 9, Gary.
I want you to know that historically, there are guests who come, get a free something or some kind of a bonus, and then they end up doing the awakening or moving into mastery.
I was a free guest.
That's right. You were a free guest, right? Every year there's people at that ceremony that catch it and then do that. And personally, I would invite everybody from your awakening, like people like Bonnie and Ennis and, Joel, and people who, people who could be doing the next awakening or doing movement to mastery, or anybody who's a previous grad. That would be really wise. Cheryl, you have something?
Yeah, about the ice cream thing, just something to consider is if you have it after the graduation, you'll have your guests that have come as well. And so if you're gonna be serving ice cream to the group and you've got your guests, that's just something to work out.
Maybe we should meet early.
Well, you might want to meet after the graduation and go to somebody's house so you guys can party together and do the
We're
ice
having a
cream.
party on Saturday, Gary.
Hmm?
Harrison,
Friday.
It's Friday.
What?
on Friday the
Friday.
10th, can we have our ice cream?
Yeah.
Thing ready?
Yeah.
So, but what if we're not all going to that thing?
So my suggestion would be because we would still have to make another commitment to do it on Saturday night and meet somewhere else. So my suggestion is to either come on Friday night and then we'll do the ice cream thing there, or that would be my preference, to make a commitment to do it on Friday night, as opposed to Saturday after the graduation, make another commitment to go somewhere else and do ice cream. So either way, there'll probably be people that can't come to one or the other of those, but that would be my preference, so.
But isn't the Friday night party open to lots of people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People that aren't
Yeah.
in the group.
Some people do it just as movement to mastery, and some people open it up. It
Any
depends
of
on
you
them.
that can't do it on Friday, I'll meet with you a different day and we'll go for ice cream, okay?
I guess that's a good point, like, there will be other people at that party, so
Yeah,
maybe.
Then what's the difference in bringing it to that party where there's gonna be a lot of other people, or bringing it to the end of graduation and they're having a lot of people? Yeah, and there's probably less guys, I'm assuming, than whoever's gonna be at the party, because we don't know how many people they invite.
That is very true. Yeah. Maybe we should.
So can we just
Saturday night.
keep it as Saturday night afterwards? Simply like after we're done here, we go into the boardroom, get ice cream and be done?
Okay.
I like the sound of that.
Does that work?
My guests will probably still be here, I'll probably go out with them. after.
Yeah.
Well, and that's just fine, but if,
Stay if you please. Go
Yeah.
if you-
But have it there to serve people.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I like
I
that.
like that idea. I don't know what I'm bringing, so I need to be reminded. My boss, so. All right, can we do that? Do you guys remember that? Anybody?
Any questions about graduation?
It's about ice cream.
Is it a dress up occasion? Do
Yes.
most people dress in their
Yes, most people do your Sunday best for graduation so that you look snazzy. I've had groups in the past, literally, everybody wore a tux and, fancy
I was
gown.
gonna say, can we wear a formal?
Go for
yeah,
it.
can we wear what?
I think you can wear anything you want to. I'm just saying that there was one group that wanted to, they all wanted to do it.
Red carpet standard where there's,
Yeah.
or.
I got the thigh high.
The thigh, yeah. Fishnet.
Thigh high foot. Angelina Jolie dress.
Yeah.
Every time I've had you bring guests like homecoming or spirit workshop, and I really acknowledge this last group because they had a lot of guests here.
Yeah.
And, you don't know until you're in the experience what it's going to mean to you. So don't shy away from inviting people that you would really like to share in your triumph, even if they're not into this work. If you would like them to be proud of you and all that stuff, that's who you want to get there. Okay? Okay, so other than graduation night, this is the last time that this group will be together. So, where did Gary go?
He's on the phone.
Go get him, because I need music. Me, do you know how to put music on?
Once it's up and running.
Once it's up and running.
So.
Okay, go and put on. For the length of 2 songs, I would like you to go to people in your group and just do nonverbal love. Acknowledge them. Say some of how proud you are of them, but non-verbally. Go from person to person for at least 2 songs, okay? Nonverbal A. Okay. Stand up and go from person to person. Once you're done, the night is over.
We are done, and that is it.
That
You
is
can
it.
pass go and collect $200.
That's good, Mead. Thank you.
Did you see what she
Standing in the sun, I can only imagine when all I do is forever worship you. Only imagine, only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Or in all you said, will I stand in your presence? Or to my knees will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I live speaking all I can only imagine? Yeah. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel when I dance for you, Jesus? For it all you receive, when I stand in your presence, to my knees will fall, when I sing when all I do is forever worship you. I can only imagine.
I know our two songs are over, but you know what I love the very most about you? You care so much.
Everything you see.
We're not done yet.
This isn't working.
I'm sorry.
Continue.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like 4 hours.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll be having a conversation soon, talking about it.
We like
Let's pick a day.
Okay.
Flexibility.
I'm just saying, I mean, if you got a road trip, you know.
And we're always that is the closest one. No, there's so I would love to go with you.
Oh, yeah. You don't live in Sims to carpool. I know. Oh, my God. It's been on the agenda.
We all.
Oh my God. So I'll send you the details. I'll send you a link to a her thing, so if somebody wants better review, just let us know. But that December one is the first one that we can go to, so. All right. Yeah.
No, you are on top.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think that you are.
Nice.
I wanted to tell you something about your wife's club.
October 30th.
Was the other day. There is, you know, I'm gonna make one for my son. It's a quilt. So you send the quilt off and they make a quilt. And I am in she might not wear the clothes. They're not her style or whatever.
As I saw you walking towards me as my hired self. Because you embody so much of this power of God that actually has to do with your physical form, the way you are shaped right now. Yes, yes, everything about you. This is how I see myself in my visualization. No, I was like, oh, this is Marie. This is my life. It's like everything about you, everything, it's everything that embodies this powerful, gorgeous woman, gorgeous woman that I see. Your courage to do this a second time, I mean that, to do it a second time, to dedicate this amount of time, to say, I don't care if I'm not doing it right, I know I'm messing up. You do it again. My biggest non-working behavior is just to be superior and not admit to appreciate. To see you sacrifice that kind of time. No, don't do it. I'm not trying to see it.
Nobody is.
I don't know what you have, but if you have jewelry or anything really sentimental that she loves, it's something that she likes. I was happy to help you put a shower box in your it's a picture that you're hanging on the wall, but you can have stuff in it. So it's a box that, like, I mean, yeah, and so I can help you decorate it and make it very beautiful. And so it's like nothing cheesy or anything like that. But anything that you want, I can help you put it in there. So that she can, that can just hang on the wall, you know what I mean? So if there's anything like that.
I'm so excited! And I'm just so excited! I'm about to lose control now! You're just jealous.
You are so beautiful and amazing. Oh, and you look gorgeous.
You know what I was thinking? It was like, it's just like,
I will take that.
Right?
She got a house.
Bigger.
Good job. Other people are manifesting money for the awakening.
You got a house. Will do. I need to learn how to use it. One of my cats here is.
If you feel how I feel, there's just.
Ask your mom to call me.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, well, I want to talk to you. You were one of the last ones.
Oh, totally.
A lot of room for people.
That's why I'm like, I can help with that one, you know.
And I was like,
Other times, well, I didn't want to leave it very judgmental, like, you know, let's go to because, you know, all of that for you. But, you know, so it would be amazing. I mean, you can make this quilt as big as this room, you make it as big as you want, so I'll carry it over.
yeah, but when I started that,
Where is it?
I remember sessions just
Oh, wow.
so
Really?
It's a PowerPoint. So they're all in.
The stream of
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Those lights are bright.
What's next, Catherine? I just started nationally certified teachers. What does that mean? That means that after a year, I can be a nationally certified teacher of music. I mean,
You're good.
And so what will credentials do for you? I know you do.
So
You charge more?
I'll charge more. And attract more.
Uh-huh. Great. And it's a year-long program? What kind of things must you do to be certified?
Oh,
I'll come to you.
I already have a piano studio. I might need to reach out
Good at making up stuff. Wow. So do you perform?
Do I perform?
Yeah. If that's the right word. Do you play at church or anything?
Yes, I do. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm playing for a wedding.
Oh, awesome.
From the man who used to be the organist, choir director.
Yeah.
Actually, my coworkers, I get excited about organ. But I'm going to teach a certified in piano. Maybe I'll branch out after that.
Very good.
Yeah, I'm excited. It's been on my bucket list for a long time.
Me neither. I've been waiting in line. I know. I just take so much time. I'm still in line, so get on with it. No pressure.
All right. Oh, did you finish making the rounds? Did everyone tell you? Did you say hello? How much I love you to everyone already?
Oh, like that, you can hear more. Yes, you have that. You go on the tongue. Way different. Are we in the soul region? I disagree with that. The only thing I can say is stuff that I was back to everybody about the future. because I walk a tightrope knowing what they can handle and what will scare them and sabotage. So the stuff that I can share with you that is along those lines is that as you continue to heal the and like what you said about healing my cup
And
then
I see you
you're going to be given
stumbling forward and going forward. No, because what do you do?
You're going to be incredibly vital.
Allow myself as I need to be in the moment, like right? So
Really, like there were ice blocks on the road, and I was coming to Salt Lake, and like 4 cars were not going to and nobody came. And
I'll be like, no thanks. He'll be like, I'll be myself. Everybody's like, that's weird.
I know.
Where you say.
Are you talking about advanced leaders program?
No, becoming a
Breakthrough leader. Basically, what you want to do is you want to do starting off with 10 breakthroughs, and then telling the breakthrough then telling the breakthrough leader that you want to do one on them so they can see what it's like. And then the breakthrough leaders will come to that and say, once you're ready, or we can put on your breakthrough with somebody. And some people were told no, you can't do that. Depends on where you're at. And definitely at the next weekend, we want to sit in with all the Molly, or it might have been David Cole.
What do you got, Carlos? You can talk about this
One thing good about being in those kind of situations in any format, but certainly in breakthroughs, is that it will accelerate it'll teach you how to be focused on what's needed and not what's needed.
Definitely not. I think about.
I got a bunch of like 100 books there about
Oh my gosh,
Thank you. Okay. We're done, Jerry? Are we leaving?
Are you done?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like you're leaving.
I'm going.
I'd love to sing it to your guest.
Be sure to take that home to Lori.
Okay, good. I will.
I'll take one over to Lori.
To Laura or Lori?
I'll take one over to Lori.
Well, let's call me. Let's set an appointment. Yeah.
Terry.
I have someone who needs me, someone who is so shy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And I have to go to
Your mirror.
Our spirit is always together. Well, you're asking for
Yes, you are.
to have that moment in the sun.
Awesome.
Spirit. It was great. My kid had a great time, and he walked away with things that he was like tickled about. Like he loved that process where soul readings that he sat with Casey, and how Casey was complimenting him on how good he was, and oh yeah, there were things where he was like totally in it. And then after lunch, he was tired. Yeah, but Alexis, she's actually frustrated with him because he was.
And I got married! That's We got our dream!
Because she was like in it. And then it would make her not be able to take pictures. But that's all good. I like some of the process. Yeah, very fine. And you just need this experience.
Right, that's right.
Stories I will tell, and I feel like I have the right idea.
Oh, yes. Good stories.
But it wasn't about tonight, it was about Friday. That's all I do. So tomorrow I'll talk about tonight.
I just have fun.
My ball? Someday I'll do that.
So it's nice when I drag somebody else to have fun. Walking down the streets of the city, smiling at everybody she sees, who's reaching out to capture a rainbow. Everyone knows it's Wendy, 'cause Wendy has stormy eyes that flash at the sound of life, and Wendy has wings to fly above the clouds, above the clouds.
Oh, wouldn't you like to know?
We did Tina. Yes.
Anyway, and then Sierra Leone.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
I'm buddying for a quick second.
1,000.
My time frame.
Oh.
Nope. I can't.
Timeless. She's
I know, she's timeless.
Just look at her.
Yeah, she's timeless.
You're a gift. Not believing how one regardless of how imperfect you just right.
That's right. That's right.
And give people a choice. Stop asking what they want. So you have, I feel like, as you complete
some of that. So when I
If
get
you're
that,
leading or your male ancestors, healing,
right now,
not being there supporting women, not helping protect them. You're creating women from this moment on. And then that turned into a mirror and healing them and having safety and share for the past as
Did you know that? Yeah. She's running. Still have senator
They're a little stubborn.
Yeah.
I've had to open many doors several times.
Yeah.
I've had to keep trying to go alone.
Really crucial time for me.
Things can actually be really simple to do. Are you going to choose this?
Oh, yes, yes.
That is the question.
Text is really easy.
Your acoustic thing is
Text works not choosing the material. Knowing it's let yourself go there. It just helps.
Some blessings that we don't just pause.
Oh, yeah.
Take a moment before, I mean, have the door open, but take a moment before you pause and give it your attention. It's right there. Yeah.
That reminds me of Acres of Diamonds. Have you been to Acres of Diamonds?
No, but it's always like, because you would keep listening anyway, sometimes you would, out of fatigue and tired of trying to get it, not getting it, and you start grasping at it. So it's like, don't just grasp at anything, be with, because we
Yeah, so somebody bought me home and discovered diamonds.
I think it's all about timing. Well, a real blessing when it shows up will give you the opportunity to know if it's true for you or not. A thing that's not a real blessing isn't going to not.
I like to know that.
I know you're going to
I'm really careful with my husbands are in there, so it probably won't be.
That's exactly how like areas like.
Yeah, I'm not
And
really So do me a favor. Tell me the line. You're important in what you have.
When you get married, then people know.
This is your conscience speaking. You're doing just fine. You've done a good job. Seriously. Yeah, like it could be somebody's assignment that when they see somebody in their shit, they interrupt like that, you know? Wendy, you're doing just fine.
Hey, can I say something to everybody?
No.
I need to say something to everybody. No.
Silence! You got a command charge in space.
I want to say something. All right. Hey, I'm waiting for a confirmation for my new apartment, hopefully tomorrow. If I do get that, Saturday I have to move into my new place. If there's anybody that has a spare time that can help me out, I will appreciate it.
When is this going?
I'm alive.
Maybe Saturday, maybe. Depending on tomorrow if I get my approval.
Where's your new
If
friend?
my approval comes in tomorrow, then Saturday, I have to move. Between Saturday and Sunday, I have to move.
Yeah, hole in the wall repaired,
Yes.
nicks in the wall repaired. Me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you said yes.
Yeah. Nice.
Going home.
Yeah.
Was it?
I can't. I will be hosting a.
Well, yeah, you're ready.
Let's go home.
Okay, see you later.
Yes, you need your computer back.
I